But the key is, secondly, whatever advice they give you, honey, you better take that advice. Just call me your big mentor from here on out. What's up, Smarties? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Aggie, if you're new here. In today's video, we are talking about how to find a mentor and how to be a great mentee, because no one ever wants to talk about that, but it's extremely important. So if you're interested, then please keep on watching and don't forget to subscribe. Quick background, I am a dermatology nurse practitioner, and previously I worked as a labor and delivery nurse. Now let's talk about first where to find a mentor. So one is actually social media, which people often think of social media as, you know, more lighthearted and, you know, connecting with family and friends, but it can be really, really good for finding potential mentors or starting that relationship. Now, LinkedIn is one that I think we all, at least I did, I definitely was not paying attention to LinkedIn throughout my nursing career up until this previous year. But LinkedIn, you guys, is a phenomenal resource and a great way to meet other health professionals. So what I would recommend for LinkedIn, you know, make your profile, have a nice little headshot, and go ahead and start searching up people who have the job title that either you're trying to have or just trying to make connections with. So do that, and usually it's pretty obvious who's more active on LinkedIn. And you can also kind of cater it to finding these professionals in your area. From there, go ahead and, honey, slide into those DMs. I suggest having like a generic blurb to introduce yourself and, you know, express why you want to connect. So say, hi, I'm so-and-so. I am currently doing this. For me, it might be, I'm currently a new graduate nurse practitioner, for example. I'm really passionate about dermatology and I would love to connect with you. And hopefully they will accept your request. From there, I would recommend going ahead and continuing that conversation in LinkedIn and kind of just telling them a little bit about yourselves, and then, you know, maybe even asking what pointers they would have for you, especially depending on what it is you're trying to get into. If there's any way you could just give me a few pointers or pieces of advice, I would greatly appreciate it. I greatly respect your time. And then you're seeing where the conversation goes from there, you know, depending on how they respond. If they are very generous with their information, maybe the next step would be to, you know, ask if they would be willing to speak on the phone for a few minutes, you know. You kind of want to test how they respond, of course. LinkedIn, like I said, is a great way to start those conversations. Even social media like Instagram and I would say Instagram, maybe not Facebook so much because that's more so like family friendly. But Instagram nowadays, you see a lot of healthcare professionals on there with platforms. And let me give you this piece of advice because this is key, okay? It will kind of rub someone the wrong way if you go into the DMs kind of like demanding information. Let's just start off with like just common courtesy, being respectful, like greet the person first and foremost. How would you interact with that person in person? You always want to make sure that you've done your research first and that you've made that evident. So whether that's saying, you know, I've been looking through your YouTube videos, and I don't know if you've already talked about this before. If you have, do you mind pointing me in the direction of where you have, or what video you've talked about this, or what Instagram post, or whatever it may be. If they have a platform where they talk a lot about what it is you're seeking information on, you want to make sure that you do your research first, because otherwise it's going to make it seem like you don't respect their time and their energy, you know what I mean, and their efforts in providing this information to people. So that's like a little insider tip I can give you all, especially coming, you know, being on both sides, you know, both having a platform where I share a lot of tips and advice in regards to my career, and then also being the person, you know, seeking that information and that mentorship and advice from other health professionals. So social media is one place you can look, LinkedIn and even Instagram, but you definitely want to be professional about going about it and just greet the person, you know, comment on something that you've already looked into, and then from there you can ask, you know, your question or your piece of advice. Going along with that, don't take anything too personal, right? So if they don't respond to you, like, feel free to reach out to them again in a couple of days. Absolutely do that, especially if, you know, you feel like it's something you really want to know, you really want their perspective or their piece of advice, definitely reach back out to them, even up to 3 times, you know what I mean? Like in different ways, maybe email, maybe DMs. Like, it's okay. Like, of course you're gonna be professional and not obnoxious about it, but do not be afraid to reach out multiple times, especially for me, because sometimes I look at messages in the middle of my work day and I know it's gonna take a while to respond and I might forget about it. So do not be afraid to reach out more than once, okay? So social media is one place to look. Another really crucial place to look for a mentor is in a professional organization. If you are not already a part of your professional organization or aspiring professional organization, you should definitely become a member, and an active member at that. They usually will have local chapter meetings, so you'll want to attend. Make sure you introduce yourself to the president, some of the cabinet members. Start building that rapport. Tell them about yourself, you know, why you're there. And I promise you, it will leave such a good taste in their mouth. It'll be such a strong impression, especially if that's somewhere that you're working to get to. So make that extra effort, invest in that membership. You know, make those efforts to really get involved, because that's something you should be doing anyways as a health professional. So all in all, it's great to be a part of your professional organization, and it is particularly excellent to finding a mentor. At those meetings, be sure to ask for people's contact information, especially after you've had these really good conversations with them. Ask if they don't mind giving you their email or phone number, and ask if they would feel comfortable with you keeping them up to date with your career and, like, you know, reaching out to them with certain questions. I've never seen someone not being more than flattered for being asked that. So definitely do not feel nervous about that, because it's definitely flattering for someone to want your perspective and your advice. But the key is, okay, and this is the part I definitely want you to listen to, and now we're getting into how to be a really good mentee. So I need you to really pay attention here, people, okay? This is what you need to do, is whenever you ask them for this piece of advice, whenever you ask them for their contact information, whatever it is, I need you to actually follow through. So that means you ask them for their email or whatever, or you ask them for their phone number. I need you to email them that same night or the next day and recap the conversation you had and say, thank you so much for, you know, chatting with me and giving me your insight. I need you to make sure you do that. And secondly, whatever advice they give you, honey, you better take that advice. You better take that advice. And when you take that advice, you tell them that you took that advice and what the result was. Because that's the transactional part of this relationship. That's whenever you have now graduated from just having them be your mentor to now being a great mentee, because now they feel like what they're giving you is worth their time. Like they're not just telling you things and it's going over your head. You're actually listening to it and you're actually applying what they said. And you're going back to them saying, oh, thank you so much for telling me X, Y, and Z. I did that. This is what happened. And now they're more willing to give you more information. And oh, they just heard of a new opportunity. They would love for you to connect with that person and connect you with that opportunity, because they've been so impressed with the fact that you actually not only take initiative and getting to know people, make connections, but you actually appreciate that knowledge that you gain and you apply it. That's so important. So that right there is key. Please do not forget that. Take the advice they give you and let them know that you did and what the result is. That is it. And then just 2 more things is, one, with this new mentor that you've now acquired either through social media or through professional organization, another key in becoming a great mentee is keeping them updated with your career. You know, every month or so, just let them know what's going on. Don't make them feel just more like they want to be more invested in the success of your career. Does that make sense? So make sure to keep them in the loop, keep them updated on what's going on in your life, anything to celebrate, or, you know, maybe a test coming up, an exam, a new job opportunity that you've accepted. Just always keep them in the loop, because like I said, that will keep them thinking of you, and if they hear of any new opportunities or anything that they think you would be a good fit for, they'll be more likely to bring that to your attention. Which leads me to the very last thing, which is whether it is in the first encounter or the last encounter with someone who is your mentor, always ask them at the end to please keep you in mind if they hear of any great opportunities, especially once they understand what it is that you are aiming to do with your life, with your career. If there's maybe something very specifically you're trying to get into, just ask. It's a simple question like, please keep me in mind if you hear of anything pertaining to X, Y, and Z that you that I may be a great fit for. I would really appreciate that. And that's just like a little simple thing you can tag on to the end of any conversation, and it doesn't hurt, that's for sure. So that concludes this video, you guys. Let me know down in the comments any questions you have about what I've spoken on. If you have anything extra to add to the conversation, I would also like for you to comment down below. I feel good about that. What about you guys? I love these types of videos. I love learning about making connections and stuff because it's so important in any career field, especially nursing and healthcare in general, just to make those connections, to make strong connections, and making sure that we're looking out for one another. So I hope you feel, you know, this space that I've created on YouTube. I make videos to hopefully help guide you and direct you and equip you with the right resources to succeed and to go after your biggest and wildest dreams. So just call me your big mentor from here on out. All right, that's all I got, you guys. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Like I said, comment and like this video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye.